EU referendum, Boris Johnson condemns BCC boss suspension. Boris Johnson says it is scandalous the British Chambers of Commerce has suspended its Director General for his comments on the EU referendum. Mr Longworth told the business group's annual conference on Thursday that the UK's long-term prospects could be brighter outside the EU. The London mayor, a Leave campaigner, said Mr Longworth had been crushed by the agents of Project Fear. Number 10 rejected any suggestion they put pressure on the BCC to suspend him. British voters will be asked whether the UK should remain a member of the EU in a referendum on Thursday, June 23. The BCC, which represents thousands of large, medium, and small businesses, has said it will not campaign for either side in the referendum as its membership is split. All you need to know about the referendum. Referendum timeline, what will happen when? More, BBC News EU referendum special. Although he stressed that he was expressing his personal opinion, in his speech Mr Longworth said the very best place for the UK to be was in a reformed EU, but I have come to the conclusion that the EU is incapable of meaningful reform, at least in the foreseeable future. Members were later told Mr Longworth had been temporarily suspended for breaching the group's official position of neutrality, the paper added. Many of those working to leave the European Union present themselves as campaigners at odds with an overbearing establishment. They will now ask whether anyone at Downing Street had any contact with the BCC before Mr Longworth's suspension, a question number 10 sources has not yet been able to answer. Any proof that Mr Longworth had been silenced by powerful enemies would strengthen that narrative. For now, no proof has been presented, and Mr Longworth, who has not commented, finds himself at the center of an increasingly ill-tempered row. Mr Johnson said it was absolutely scandalous that Mr Longworth has been forced to step aside. This is a man who reached the conclusion, after long reflection in a lifetime's experience of business, that it would be better to vote Leave. He speaks for the many small and medium-sized businesses, the lifeblood of the economy, who cannot understand why they should comply with more and more regulation, over which this country has no democratic control. Simply not true. He added that it was not right that when someone has the guts to dissent from the establishment line, he or she is immediately crushed by the agents of Project Fear. The term Project Fear has been used by Leave supporters who accuse those backing Remain of scaremongering about possible repercussions of the UK leaving the EU.